It's CashColorCannabis, a high level of conversation on LivehiphopDaily.tv. And tonight I'm honored to have my guest in the building, East Point City Councilman Lance Robertson. How are you doing today, sir?
Shay, brother, how are you?
Shay.
You so smooth though. I mean, your introduction is so smooth. I've been waiting for this.
Let me tell you. You know what's funny? I had a whole nother funny story, but you already introduced me to a funnier story before we even started. This isn't your first time in this building.
No, years ago, I'm an OG. Years ago, in the late 80s.
Late 80s.
I'm an OG.
Yeah.
I had the Valentine's party here. My name was Lance Romance at that time, and I had a romance Valentine party. I was in Castleberry Hills putting this on the spot. The party was dead, but the romance kicked in that night, so I had a good time. But I remember this building right here. This is the exact spot.
So also we got Lance Romance with me tonight.
Now, again, that was in college. Okay, I'm a grown man now, so I passed that torch on.
What college you went to?
I started at the University of Houston. I went to school in Texas, and finished up at school at Lamar, actually in Beaumont. So yes.
Oh, so you from Texas?
My college roots are there.
But
I've been here since the 5th grade.
Okay.
So my family's family is from an area called Peopletown in Summerhill.
Okay.
Yeah.
I live in Peopletown now right now.
Oh, really?
I sure do.
Okay. Well,
I should actually choose what park to be specific, but yeah, I absolutely.
My grandmother came from 140 Fulton Street. Went to Washington High School. Graduated in 1922.
Let me tell you something. I ain't gonna get into my whole entire life, but that neighborhood looks extremely different now. I don't know if you've been around lately, but yeah, from the new developments we have, from the apartment complexes, the townhouses that's being built now in the corner of Hank Aaron and Milton right now. That whole neighborhood looks.
I actually had a house down there also in my adult life, so I lived on Love Street.
Yep.
Right there, right across the Cheney Stadium. That big yellow canary house was mine once upon a time.
Wow, that whole neighborhood's changed. Summerhill, I actually like Summerhill Village, where all the eateries are. Look, I said eateries. the eateries are clearly the eateries. But yeah, I love the neighborhood. I'm now a resident of Peoplestown. But let me get back into the interview.
No problem.
You are hilarious already.
Good.
So, Lance, I was going to say the first time I met you actually was in Las Vegas. It was last year.
It was the year before last.
Was it the year before last?
Yeah.
We
put our time in.
Yes, it was the year before last. Because last year, matter of fact, I know for a fact it was the year before last. Because this year I got a hotel room.
Tell the story.
This year I got a hotel room. Right. So when I first met you, we were it was MJ Biz the year before last, and I was going, and shout out to my man Coach, shout out to Hollywood and everybody.
Coach.
It was almost like an Atlanta mob out. How we all went down there. But I was only planning for staying for a grand total of 24 hours. So I was like, I don't necessarily need to get a hotel room. Coach said we got an Airbnb. Come crash on the couch. Coach. Yeah. By the time I get there, I'm kicking it, and I finally unwind. More people come in. So this room is packed. This two bedroom Airbnb is packed this moment.
Right.
And one of the people came in was Lance Robertson, man.
That's right.
That was my first time meeting you, and he told me, he says, it's the councilman. And I was like, really? So my man just pulled up on us. Yeah. But Lance, that was our first time meeting, and ever since that time, I've been able to have some kind of encounters with you through CBD City, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and just seeing you around the city. But for those who don't know you, please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna bring you greetings on behalf of the Summerhill native part of me, the Terrell family, Maddie Peters Terrell. That was my grandmother, so I carry that lineage with me. And Nate Robertson, my dad, who's in heaven. But we move in a family aspect. So my name, again, is Lance Robertson. I serve as the city councilman for the city of East Point. Before that, I ran a nonprofit called the National Black and Latino Council, building the largest network of Hispanics, Latinos, and African Americans, second to none in America, with over 6,000 members in 7 different states. And I did that for about 15 years by way of in government. I was chief of staff as well in DeKalb County, worked for Congress, a lady named Cynthia McKinney. Again, I'm an OG, first congresswoman, and I also work for the Department of Commerce. So I've been in government for quite some time.
Man.
Yeah, I'm been in that space.
What got you into government? Like, what got you into want to work in that kind of space?
Well, actually where I am right now in my store.
Yeah.
My mom moved back from Boston about 45 years ago.
Oh, I'm a Boston native, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Beantown.
Beantown, Mattapan, baby.
Yeah, Mattapan Square.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. By way of Dorchester,
Yes,
Mass.
sir,
Yeah,
man.
on Blue Hills Ave.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when she came back, her first job was actually right across the street from where my business is. Her address was 2289 Cascade. My address is 2286. When she first started working there, when she moved back, she met a dentist named Dr. Walter Young. Dr. Walter Young has a brother named Andy Young. At that time, he asked my mom to volunteer on the campaign, and she brought me. The first time, because I came from Boston, which was lily white, the first time I saw a black man on a poster with a big afro and it said, "Think Young," that was my first look or glean into a black person in politics. 45 years later, I come back as a businessman in that very same community, right across from where my mom had her first job. So I'm truly living my purpose. Yeah. My history and lineage is long, but it's basically, in my DNA is serving the community and also saving our planet.
That's interesting, man. So you had a chance to see Andy Young.
and as a matter of fact, Ambassador Young now comes into the store, and I provide him his holistic health care.
I did see him on your Instagram. Yeah. Wow, you talk about full circle moment.
Full circle. So in reference to Ambassador Young, he used to pull up, and I used to have to come to him in his car and bring him product, okay? So he would never get out of his car. And then his wife would come in, and I would get product for her. So last time, because he's been using the product on his knees, he walked in the store, and we spent a good half an hour together having conversation.
Have you ever told him that story?
I did.
Wow.
I did. And that's why I think it resonated maybe the second or third time I told him. It takes a while, it has to be repeated. And he gets it now. He's like, yes. So we take care of a lot of people, but I'm honored that he entrusted in me to provide holistic healthcare advice. And he looked, and there's a picture of Dick Gregory on the wall with C.T. Vivian. And then he just opened up and said, well, the last holistic practitioner I listened to was Dick Gregory, because he used to bring us during the March with Martin, he used to bring us pills and envelopes, supplements, and just big pills in the envelope full of pills. And he says, now, I'm coming to you. I didn't know how to take all of that, but he told me the story, and I was just humbled that he entrusted, again, he's 90 years old. He entrusted in me to provide holistic health benefits from the cannabinoid.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. That's one of those amazing stories.
It is.
And it's crazy. So you've worked a long time in government, as you had just mentioned.
Yeah, long time.
You've only been a politician since, 2019?
I've been an elected official for 3 years. That is correct. So this is my first time as an elected official. I usually work for elected officials to help people get elected. I was in the room with Governor Bill Clinton when he was having a conversation with Zell Miller, then governor, to switch Super Tuesday. I was in that room when they made that conversation. That's how long I've been. Governor Bill Clinton. Are you listening? Governor. So I've been around the space a long time.
Man, that's crazy. So you went from helping people get elected and working on the behind the scenes to actually running for office. What was it like running for something in 2019, especially when it wasn't like you was by yourself? Like, it was actually a couple other people in the race with you.
Well, it's a funny story that I was already transitioning out of the National Black Latino Council, and I realized I wanted to go deep in the hemp industry as a vertically integrated business owner. In the middle of that, I get a phone call from the then city councilman, and he wanted to meet with me, and I thought it was about Black Latino Council. Usually I get calls, it's about the space that I'm in, and they need
helping some votes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know that.
So I get over there, and it's a room of people of some of the stakeholders at East Point, and they share with me that they would like me to run for office because he chose not to run. And I was like, well, I'm about to start this hemp business. I'm busy. He says, well, I'm busy. But knowing that I was prepared for it, I felt this was part of my purpose. So the next thing you know, the next day, I was like, give Lance a chance. And here we are. And that was it.
Wow, man. People often, politics to me is something I would never, ever want to do. I just don't want to get through the point. I don't want to do the job, one.
Right.
But I definitely don't want to do the actual campaigning and going through that whole routine. What was it like for you being on the other side at this moment, having to do the campaigning, having to do the give Lance a chance moments and shake the hands and kiss babies?
Well, it was pretty much of a listening moment because I had to just get the pulse of the community. So I had to go introduce myself and let them speak into me. It wasn't about me giving them my resume and letting them know all the things I've done. I wanted to be their voice, so I said, tell me what you want. So therefore, I just started listening, and then I developed my voice. And when I developed my voice, it was of all the people that I spoke with. So we spoke as one, and I'm excited about it because I think it's something that's purpose-driven.
Yeah, and being a city council is a hard race to draw people out. It's one of those things where it's a local held position that's definitely important to wherever you live. But most people don't know who their city council person is. Most people don't go out unless it's a presidential election. How hard was it to draw people out in such a for East Point just to come out for this particular race?
It was hard, but if you know me, when I get focused, I get laser focused. So every morning I was on every other corner, waving, talking to people, and then after that, I spent 2-3 hours walking and knocking on doors, then doing phone calls. I kind of energize. I bring a certain level of energy in my space, just like you, and I bring it. So I just try to electrify the district and let them know that if you give Lance a chance, I won't let you down, and I'm happy they did.
Man, I hated door knocking. I used to work for New Georgia Project for a little while.
Yeah.
And shout out to Insay Ufai. Insay's a homie. I love Insay.
Yeah.
I love everything they did, but even volunteering, I used to hate doing that, bro. like the knocking on the doors, and I understand the purpose of it, but it's just one of the things that's not my ministry.
And let me tell you something. It's called the shoe leather campaign, and my shoes were worn out. I had holes in the bottom of it.
Exactly.
When I see people campaigning now, I look at their feet, and I can tell you if they're really campaigning.
Yeah.
Most people run from air conditioner to air conditioner. I'm out there sweating. I'm out there grinding.
See,
I'm out
most
there
people.
touching people, and I see everybody. I see everybody.
Most people. It's crazy. There's a picture of me right now where we were out volunteering and doing door knocking. It's not the Washington Post. The Root. It was on the Root.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was on the Root, and it was me and a couple of people from New Georgia, and we was knocking on the door, and I was telling my man while he was there, I hate knocking on doors. People never open the door, and then we got these camera crews standing behind us. And the day I knock on this person's door, she opened the door, sees the camera crew, slams the door behind us, says, "Hold on," but she yells, "Hold on," after she does it, runs and turns into a whole nother person to answer this question. She saw the cameras and got glammed up. That was the one time I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and say that door knocking do work, but you gotta have a camera with you.
You're right. In reference to knocking on the door, think about this. I'm a 6'4.5" person of color, black man.
I'm there with you, bro.
So now it's a whole different approach when you knock on the door. I had to make sure I had a shirt and tie
Exactly.
on.
They don't want to open the door for you.
I had to knock on the door, and I had to step back.
No, they don't want to do that.
Respect their boundaries and hold my sign and say, "Hi, I'm Lance."
Yeah.
Because you got to respect people. Most people don't even go to the front door, because they have a carport. So I have to still, out of etiquette, knock on the front door. So it's a whole strategic thing, but I've done it all.
Oh, I've done it because, again, I'm not that person.
I'm
from Boston. We don't knock on side doors. We knock on the front door. Front door.
Yeah.
That's a side door. This is a side door culture down here. Scared the hell out of me because I'm like, if I knock on this door, you're going to shoot me.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? That's my first thought. I feel like this is your
right.
personal space right here.
Exactly
Not like your
right.
front door ain't, but this is real personal.
That's exactly right.
It's a different level, man. Like I said, I've done it before, and my mother to this moment volunteers in Boston. So
really,
that's another thing that's like how you had mentioned. It's just in your blood. It's been in us forever.
Wow.
Yeah. My mom to this day, like in my household, my mother's a Democrat. My father, rest in peace, was a Republican. Like I watched my father vote for Reagan twice. With a straight face. He wouldn't do it now, but you know what I'm saying? With a straight face. So I've always had the politics in our house. Like that's always been a conversation.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. And let me tell you something. Back in the day, you probably don't remember this guy, but Mayor White, that's a long time ago, but he was a mayor, and he came on our street, and I got on the news because of him. And so that was also an indication of politics. And like, oh, you're with the mayor? I didn't know who he was. This is a white man walking down the street in the hood. He was a photo op, but I remember that, and I remember his name was Mayor White.
Exactly. Well, since you've held the position, like you say, for the last 3 years, what do you feel like you have learned about yourself since being in office that you didn't necessarily know about yourself prior to this?
Well, I can tell you it stretches me to be my best. My whole focus that nobody really knows about, I get unhoused people places to live. So I worked on a system to I find people that have no home, and I go to the city of East Point, and we have what we call intake forms, and I make sure that we connect those dots. I've got several people off the street. So I was challenged to always focus on the least and the less. So forget the spotlights, forget all of that, but work with your heart and work in purpose and work for somebody who really is not going to give anything to you. You're not looking for anything. So that's my goal, and I really love trying to serve those who are the least and the less.
Yeah. Are you going to keep running?
Well, if the people want me to continue to run, I'm going to keep running. So the answer is yes.
Okay. You know, I'm a big fan. I'll say it out loud. I'm a big fan of term limits. I feel like people, especially on local levels, can be professional politicians. Like, they never leave in this position. Like, the fact that people have been there for 40-something years is beyond me, unless you actually want to do it. And you find rarely, I feel like you find politicians who this is what I want to do.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So if I do one more term,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Because he's going to do the job.
Most definitely. I'm going to do the job. The
Yeah.
people will push you to be better.
Yes.
So I push to be better, you know.
If you're listening, you know, again, that's a trait that I love about you as a politician. At least you're listening. A lot of people, you know, they only listen when it's time for a vote situation. Then it's all ears open, you know.
I answer every phone call. I respond to every email. I get calls all the time. I might get a couple calls right now, but I get calls 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning. I answer every phone call. If I'm busy, I will reply back to them. So there's no shortchange of me being responsible. I'm very responsible. What I don't do, though, I do not engage in any of the social media stuff. I will not reply on social media because sometimes it's like a trap.
Oh, man.
You know, so I will reply to them one-on-one and have conversation with them.
Stay off
to be
Twitter.
productive. But I'm not going to engage with my constituents on social media.
Stay off Twitter,
Not
man.
publicly.
Stay off Twitter. You're doing a good job, man.
Yes.
Another good job you're doing is bringing holistic medicine and that kind of education to the area that you're in with CBD City Cascade.
Yes, sir.
My first time being over there was for Gary Chambers, actually.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, that was my
That's
first
exactly
time
right.
seeing
That's
the
exactly
store.
right.
Store is beautiful, man.
We're number one. I'm going to let you know. Somebody got to be the baddest, and it's us.
What made you want to get into the CBD business?
Well, I already knew I wanted to get into the hemp industry. So I started down with my former business partner. We started down that journey. And as we was going down that journey, we was touching different people. And one of them, at the end of the meeting, said, well, you know, this was at the MJ Biz in New Orleans. He said, you know, we got a CBD store in Atlanta. And the light bulb just went off. I said, what? And then after a week or two, I went under his tutelage. Shout out to CBD stores. And we went up to his tutelage. And then I got the format to open up my own store about 9 months later. And I realized that this was an opportunity to provide and have a conversation about holistic healthcare. It's very important to do that. Yeah. So I knew, again, I was striking that area that was life purpose driven.
That's what's up. And it's a beautiful store. Like I say, it seems like it's multi-purpose. You know, it's not just you selling CBD products. There's a room in the back for conversations and yoga. There's a lot going on. For those who haven't been there, explain the store to them and the layout like I just mentioned, because it really is dope.
Well, I took the format from Apple.
Okay.
So I took the format from Apple. I took best practices from all over. I took the format from Apple. I understood my core competencies. I put those on the wall. I based a mission statement and the value of it and made sure I did an investment second to none in our community. So we do have a yoga room. It's a dedicated yoga room that we give yoga. We have free yoga classes. I brought on a yoga instructor from Spelman. She graduated from Spelman. I keep connecting with our young people because that's tomorrow for us. So we do the yoga in there. We have classes in there. We have different conversations as well as like a community room. Our first activity in that room was for the Sickle Cell Anemia Foundation. We raised close to $1,000 for them. Sickle Cell Anemia of Georgia is right across the street from us, and they've been there for 50 years. I'm a new store owner. I've been there 3 months. I recognized them and did a fundraiser for them.
I need to tap in with you about that. I've been trying to get somebody with Sickle Cell Georgia on the show for 3 years now and haven't got no chance.
Done. We can handle that. We can handle that.
See, this is why you be friends with politicians. You know what I'm saying? This right here is why you be friends with politicians.
You continue to serve the people.
Yes,
exactly
continue
right.
to serve
That's
the people.
That's exactly
you know,
right.
And speaking of serving the people, I thought it was very telling that Andrew Young came to you for cream for his knee, like for when it came to his knee problems. I thought it was very telling because he's a part of an older generation. Like my mother's part of that generation where if I mention, even to this day, she's super proud of the podcast. She's very proud of what her son's doing, but she's never in her mind. And this is somebody who lives in Boston, totally legal state. Ain't taking CBD, ain't taking THC, nothing. Like it's a massive drug. That's all she knows about. How hard was it to sell the concept of CBD as a means of health recovery for medical purposes, things like that, to a generation that came up with the beyond just say no. They came up with this is 100% a drug.
First of all, I had to educate me and my staff. We had to be educated. We took a class from the Atlanta Cannabis Science course. Shout out to Dr. Henderson.
I was about to say, yeah, shout out to them, man.
Yeah. I mean, we took that class, and I make people in my space who work for me take that class. And I also recommend that for everyone in other CBD stores, our peers. I said, have your employees take this class. You want to be educated so you can converse with them correctly when they come into you. Ask you about certain things, because I wear the swag like I'm a doctor, but I'm not a doctor, and I never tried to be a doctor. But keep in mind, we want to be able to provide a conversation so people want to have holistic healthcare options. Understand this, Wellstar just closed down downtown Atlanta. Is that correct? We've already had a disparity.
Or I think not to correct. I feel like Andre Dickens might put a hold on it for a second, but I know they're trying to close one down.
Well, the news is today that Wellstar is closing.
Oh, so it's closing?
Yeah, they're closing. And in the East Point, there are Wellstar diversion. They tiered down from trauma 1 to trauma 2. So therefore, the health disparities in our community are doubled, are tripled. We have to be able to position, have places like CBD City and other stores that community come in and have conversations about cancer, about HIV, about autism. I get all type of conversations, construction workers, you name it. They're coming in here trying to figure out how to heal their body. Yeah. And we're happy to be in a place that they can converse like that and provide top tier products for them.
Yeah, and I saw, again, when I was there for the Gary Chambers event, I saw you actually speaking to a customer, and it was similar to that. Like, it was this really in-depth conversation. I wasn't even sure if the person bought anything, but I know that y'all had I know y'all had this whole conversation. What are the type of conversations that you do have when you come into the store? Like, as far as from the locals who do stay in the neighborhood, like, what are some of the biggest questions they have?
They have pain. They have a pain. They can't sleep. Keep in mind, our community has been traumatized. I mean, it's a lot of trauma out there for the black race, period, especially black men, and then our elders. They sacrificed a lot. So when they walk outside their door, the world is heavy. So people are coming to me because they want to get relief. They can't sleep. Or again, they have bad pain or epilepsy or autism. I get all kinds. I sit the elders down and I wait on them. They don't have to move. I just bring everything to them and have great dialogue. I have created a place, and we have created a community-focused place that cares. I have 2 high school students that come into my store and they say, Mr. Lance, and I have 2 chairs in the front, and they sit there and wait for their parents to come pick them up. I don't even speak to them. I don't even talk to them. I don't even let them go move past the front door. But they have identified this place as a safe place. They've been coming in for 8 months. They came in there today. They come in, they sit down, I say hi, and they play on their phones. The next thing they say, thank you, Mr. Lance, and the parents pulls up. We work as a community focus. At the same time, those kids are in there. There's a lady in there, and she's telling me, she has anxiety. She's stressed out, and I'm providing the service for her. But we are a holistic wraparound service.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Is there any chances that we're going to see you pop out anywhere outside of Cascade, like as far as
Yeah. We already, our second store is going to be East Point.
Okay.
CBD City Wellness, East Point. So I just signed that contract 2 days before my birthday, which was September 15th. My birthday was on the 18th. And signed that contract for 5 years, so we'll be starting that build out. So that'll be our second store. Our third store, we already have land right down Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and we'll be building that probably a year or 2 out. But I got to stay focused on the second store and the first store, and I'm happy. I'm good.
I ain't getting the money. Okay, I'm happy for you, man. The state of Georgia is still kind of slow when it comes to getting access for people in general, when it comes to low THC oil as they want to give us, and CBD, low THC oil primarily. Recently, I know they just announced that Botanical Sciences and True Leaf are going to be the first companies who they were original winners of the process, who were able to start actually doing start actually going into production, start going into business as far as with the low THC oil. What's your opinion about the Georgia MMJ program itself? And do you feel like it's moving? How do you feel? Do you feel like it's moving? It's starting to pick up pace, because for the longest it was in slow motion.
It's going to pick up pace, but we have to make sure we're at the table.
Yeah.
Okay, because it could pick up pace, and it'll be yesterday for us. Full disclosure, I was contacted by True Leaf today.
Okay.
In Florida, that actually she was moving because of the hurricane, but she has a conversation. She wants to meet with myself. I don't know what the subject matter is, but we're in conversation already. And I have no idea, but they're coming. But we have to make sure that we're at the table.
Yes.
And we get a piece of that pie. So, see, when it's real quiet, that's when the deals are being cut. So all you see is, boom, they're here. But all that quiet time, they was making those deals. Mm-hmm. We have to make sure that we are at the table for our equity share. And that's why we're doing some of the events that we'll be talking about later.
I love that answer, man. I love that answer. Let's speak about the event, man, because I'm going to actually be there myself. You're going to get me about...
You're going to be working now.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we're going to be working, but I brought you some treats, so I want you to make sure you get your treats. And, I got your CBD water right
Yes,
here.
he did. Yes, he did.
Make sure you got that, And make sure you eat some of this popcorn. It's good.
Boy, you've been killing that popcorn.
It's good. It's good. It's good. Do you know I have parents coming to the store, because some children have a different mindset. They're wild and rambunctious. A parent says, I've been giving my son I mix it up in his popcorn, some other popcorn, cheddar cheese, and it calms him down and it makes his butt go to sleep.
Parents ain't no joke.
Yeah. So she told her girlfriend. So I have two mothers that come here and buy the popcorn for their children, because those children are a little more rambunctious. They got to slow down a little bit. But it's a holistic health option also for that.
Boy, come get this popcorn. But the Hateville Hemp Festival is coming up this weekend. And it's the inaugural. I love how you put the inaugural, not first.
That's exactly
not
right.
First
That's
annual.
right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
But it's the inaugural Hateville Hemp Festival. And I remember when you reached out to me about it, and you was telling me about it. It was still kind of, I believe, in the infancy stages.
It was.
But I was definitely down to help out, because I know how you are out here. Speak to us about the event and what made you want to bring this to life.
I've had this idea before 2020, so I waited a year and a half, and I wanted to do Hateville because, from a marketing standpoint, Hateville Hemp Festival, it just sounded cool, So I was stuck on Hateville, but what I did early on is created a placeholder. We know there's a lot of different groups out here, but I created a placeholder called the Hemp Minority Alliance. It was just a placeholder, so it would be a safe place for other CBD store owners, black and brown, manufacturers, hemp farmers, that they can come and share their brand, their platform, so it won't be under this CBD City. So Hemp Minority Alliance is that umbrella that we all can come, share our platforms, and have a conversation, and unite and build, and then strategize on our equity share. The Hemp Minority Alliance has a 5-state regional strategy: Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina, and North Carolina. We've had to reach out to all the black and brown CBD owners in that space and farmers, and invite them to the alliance and invite this to this activity. So it's very strategic how we're making this communication, and it's working. It's actually working. The unity is coming together. I mean, in this space, I have noticed there's no haters. It's everyone. It's like a love fest. We are supporting each other. And you do a great job, especially in this particular platform. You showcase and you highlight and you introduce people to your audience. So I thank you for that.
Hey, it's no problem, man. I appreciate you for introducing the event, Hateville Hemp Festival. Speak to us about some of the people who are going to be involved, not from the brand standpoint, but some of the speakers, and that people could come.
Well, I have to do a shout out to our Honorary Chairs, Brother Big Gip.
Yeah.
And Brother Reginald Reese of Green Toe Farms. Those are the honorary co-chairs. And
Reggie, man.
Yeah,
Reggie's
and that's
guy.
us bringing unity together.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that the three, I call the big three CBD store owners, come out unified as we make this move and build all our stakeholders together and unite them all together. But more importantly, our focus is health and wellness. Our focus is on the cannabinoid. So what we are doing, we have great partnerships now with the Morehouse School of Medicine. The lady who runs the Dr. Satcher Institution, the Morehouse School of Medicine, who writes the programs in cannabis and all the policies. Now we're having conversations with Morehouse School of Medicine to do case studies because that's very important.
Yes.
We have a professor from University of Miami that's coming down. She's a cannabis and epidemiologist. So we're bringing in professionals to have conversations about health and wellness. Our dedicated nonprofit of choice for our social cause is Special Needs Siblings. So that's for autism. They're going to be talking a lot about autism. I've ordered over 50 books about in cancer, diabetes, health and wellness for CBD and healing. Books to sell out there because we want to educate our community in this particular space. It's very important that we educate our community on the benefits of this holistic health care.
Yeah, I love that, man. So, big Gip, shout out to Gip, shout out
What's
to
up,
Reese.
Gip?
shout out to Reese. I love how you said the big three, the pillars are going to come together in support of this event. But it's also going to be, I know some other people are going to be involved or may possibly pop up. I'm definitely going to be there.
Oh, you're going to be there.
Yeah,
You're going to be on the mic. You're going to hold it down for me. Okay,
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
hope
hold it down
so
for
that
you.
you make that work. Now, what we also did, we have, we've been identified by a group called SMART, Students Marijuana Alliance Research Transparency. That's all the black HBCUs, 11 of them. They have started cannabis hubs. So they're having conversations and bringing conversations about this space in this industry.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so, and actually the young lady who's heading it up was one of my interns from Spelman. So now she's plugging me into that. They're part of our volunteers. They're part of our future messaging and things like that. So we're having a very holistic approach of having the young people, the people in the medical industry, people in our industry, and our stakeholders come together. And that's the important part, and focus on holistic health and wellness. There's always a stigma of, people want to feel good, they want to be relaxed, but the holistic benefits are where my focus is in this particular space.
I'm impressed, man. I can't wait to get out there myself. When is it gonna? It's taking place this Saturday. What times?
Well, let me share this with you.
Sure.
We have 3 award winners. So our Chakra Award goes to Deeqa Gates.
Yeah.
So she's coming down and she's getting our Chakra Award. We have our Black Seed Hemp Award, which goes to Rowdy Wellness and 420 Access Suites.
Oh, Dallas Austin.
Yes, Suites 420 Access.
Yeah.
That company, as you're familiar with, it funds black people who want to start in the cannabis business. So that's why he's getting the Black Seed Award, because he funds people in this business. He plants that seed so they can grow in this. This is a legacy play. This play right here that we're doing is really not for us. It's for our kids. So we have to be strategic in the moves that we're making. And then our last award goes to Mike Tyson, who will not be there. But he's getting an award. He's going to be in Germany. But let me tell you what we did for Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
We created an award called the Pharrell Scott Award. Pharrell Scott was the gentleman who was locked up for life for getting caught with cannabis, marijuana. He got locked up for life, and believe it or not, the last day of Trump, he pardoned him. So Pharrell Scott is free. So this is the Pharrell Scott Freedom Award. And Pharrell Scott will be here. He's driving down from Dallas.
Really?
Yes, to
I'd love to
present
meet-
the award
I'd love to meet him.
one of Mike Tyson's
Yeah, I'd love to meet him.
representatives, and that's to be announced. But we're working on something really big on that behalf.
But Mike Tyson won't be here.
He will not be here, but we've talked to his team. They know we are here. We know to give an award for him. So that's part of the conversation that is still working, even though he's not coming.
Yeah.
But now we know who we all know about each other. We got access.
Yeah. That's a dope event.
Shout out to Ryan, by the way, who works with Mike Tyson.
That's a dope event, man. So when does it start off? Like, what's the time?
Well, it starts off from 11 to 7,
Okay.
and we have a hemp lounge. We got a lounge in there. This is just very sexy, very cool. We have infused food in there. We have a phenomenal DJ in this particular space, and we're just gonna be rocking and rolling and spreading good love and holistic healthcare conversations and education.
Solid, man. Is it free or what's the ticket?
This event is free. We do have a VIP lounge, and I think that's sold up, but the event is free. This is a public park for Hateville. We can't charge, and we don't want to charge.
Oh, okay.
Right now, let me tell you, though, we have over 800 people that have registered and got tickets.
Good.
So if you just cut that in half, we're going to have a solid 400+ people.
Yeah, if you get
know.
15% of that, that's still a good.
We're in good shape.
Yeah.
We have over 30 vendors. We are in good shape. We also identified a bank called Westtown Bank. They have a special program for hemp business owners that they will get a bank account. Then they have a cannabis program. Westtown Bank are now partnering with us to start that conversation so we can help people in our community get bank accounts legally in the right way for those who choose to do so in this particular space.
Man, it sounds like an amazing event. Thank you for allowing me to be part of it.
Oh, no doubt. We have to have the taste-making influencer. I mean, we respect your platform and your grind, okay? We respect that. I couldn't wait to get here. You see I'm so comfortable, I took my shoes off.
I see you, man. I see you, man. My man
That's
got
that
comfortable.
popcorn and that CBD living.
My man got comfortable, man. I mentioned that the first time I met you was at MJ Biz, and I'm definitely going to be at MJ again in Vegas in November. But are you going to go to Black CannaCon? Black CannaCon's pulling up this year.
I have no plans at this moment to be going to it. I am aware of it. As you know, there's so much good information, but as soon as I shut down the Hemp Festival, I have to start my build out for my store. And if you don't mind me saying, as a Black City Councilman, I also, we just formed a group called the Black City Councilmen of Georgia. So I have about 40 cities in Georgia with Black City Councilmen, and we're going to do our debut on the 23rd. So I'm coming with this Hemp Festival in this particular space, and then I'm pivoting, and we're doing that. So right now, my time is somewhat laser focused on making sure I get my store open, and I have these two major events in both my spaces.
You got stuff happening.
I got stuff happening. Now, you know what I have for you, and I did not bring?
What?
You know we have our own hemp sustainable apparel line.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, I saw the shirts when I was in the store.
And I looked at the shirt to bring it tonight to present it to you, but I wanted to wait to probably do it at the Saturday at the event. Say it again?
I'm a medium if you want.
That's good information. That's good information.
Appreciate
But that hemp apparel line is really special, and I'm going to share that with you so we can continue to also produce apparel in hemp, because that's where the other play is.
Yeah, apparel, bricks. Shout out to, man, there's a lot you could do.
Fiber, all of that, yeah. I mean, as you know, Nike right now are doing their sneakers in hemp fiber. They're testing out in Europe. Levi's are doing their jeans now in hemp fiber. BMW's doing their dashboard in hemp fiber. So the real other play is in that fiber. This hemp plant is so sustainable. It has so many applications. It's phenomenal. And then the health benefits for the cannabinoid is just a cherry on the top. This is the space I'm going to be in until the end.
Are you comfortable in the city council position? Like, do we see you possibly running for any other positions?
Well, I am very happy serving Ward A. There's conversations in the streets, and all I want to do is focus on today. Because if I start looking further down the road, I would trip myself up. And I'm too tall, and I weigh a little bit too much to trip myself up. So I take strategic steps. So the answer is I'm going to continue to serve in this position today, but there is conversation in the streets.
Okay, man. What have you been most proud of when it comes to CBD City at Cascade? What have you been most proud of about opening the store?
Connecting with the people. I mean, when I first opened up, keep in mind we had 2020, right? So I had the lease in 2019. We got stuck with 2020. So for that whole year, my space was empty. But the only thing that was open was Big Daddy's. So when I came out of COVID, there are 3 or 4 unhoused people sitting in front of the store because why? Their only lifeline is to get somebody from Big Box to buy them a plate. So I had to have a very unique approach because they think I'm coming on their territory. I said, how can I get them to move? Because I'm trying to open my business, but also respect them. So my approach of building community, I got them haircuts, gave them little type of jobs that they can do, develop a rapport with them because I see everybody. So I had to start from the ground up with community and respect them. I just had a conversation with him tonight. Mike, I'm leaving. Boom, boom, boom. Leave that lady alone. Let her walk to the car. I mean, I chastise him just like that because they know it's love. He comes back, I give him a beer. I got a 6-pack in the back. I just buy for them. Hey, you want a beer? Boom. And so they know I give them tough love. So when I chastise them, they know it just comes from a place. That same gentleman, when his mother came to pick him up, he came in the store and said, I want you to meet my mother. And the mother said, here's my phone number. Mike talks about you. If you ever need me, let me know. That's community. I built up a community relationship with them so they will also respect me in my life. My windows won't be busted the next day, because it's respect. One time my car broke down, And I had to come back the next day. I came back. One of the unhoused people had set a chair near my car to watch it all night. That's nothing but love.
That's nothing but love.
I see them all, and I take care of them all, but I'm tough. I cleaned my whole block. They're not out there no more. The whole neighborhood said, that's Mr. Lance, he's our OG, and I have built up a level of respect for community, and there's a whole another extra pride there, because we all need each other. Yes. We all need each other. We don't think you're, can I use some profanity?
Oh, please,
don't think your shit don't stink,
yeah.
Okay? Okay, just don't think it, because it does. And we all need each other. So I understand that. That's the glue to us as black people survive. And keep in mind, there's a saying, when you just see somebody of color, you go, you don't even know them, but there's a kindred spirit there. And that kindred spirit has been going on for years and years, and it's embedded in me that I see everybody and respect everybody.
Councilman Robertson, I appreciate you coming through tonight. You're definitely planting a lot of amazing seeds, and hopefully I see, hopefully I see them all sprout up this Saturday at the inaugural Hateville Hemp Festival. Definitely come out and support this.
I have to give a shout out to Pink Plains, Miss Lucky Star. Mm-hmm. She has been the backbone of this initiative. It was her idea to bring in Deacon Gates. I let her drive that car because, again, we all need each other. And you got to respect boundaries. Don't overstep. Don't try to micromanage everybody. Give people the breath so their creativity can grow. Yeah. And that's what we have to do. We can't suffocate these young, bright minds out here. Let them breathe. And that's what I do.
My man, appreciate you coming through tonight, and this is your first time, but hopefully not your last time on CashColorCannabis.
No, I feel great. Thank you so much. Peace and love, brother. Keep doing what you're doing.
No problem, man.
You know what I
love? Clearly the vibe of him doing his first party hit him when he got in here, and he's been bobbing ever since he walked in the building, man. I appreciate you. Again, this is CashColorCannabis. This is a high level of conversation, and we're on LivehiphopDaily.tv.
And keep loving each other.
Yes.